Topping today's news, parliamentarians debate the climate change bill. The Minister of Tourism announces a record number of tourist arrivals, more from the Police Commissioner on crime in 2025, and the Prime Minister announces plans for Grand Bahama. Good evening, Bahamas. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Jarino Saunders. It's definitely a pleasure to have you join us. After its introduction in 2022, the government now seeks to pass the Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit Bill. Prime Minister Philip Davis said while significant steps have been taken to become climate change resilient, more needs to be done.
The bills before this House give legal structure to the work we have done on blue carbon credits. Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit Bill 2025 establishes the Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit as a statutory body, continuing its existing work while giving it clear authority, defined responsibilities, and permanent standing within the government. Under this bill, overall responsibility for climate change and climate finance has been consolidated. This reflects the reality that climate decisions simultaneously affect public finance, infrastructure planning, national security, and international relations.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard said while the opposition supports the government's efforts, they are deeply concerned with the lack of progress compared to the goals set by the government in terms of carbon credits for the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the building of infrastructure like seawalls.
Madam Speaker, as we look at what the bill attempts to do, we understand that there's a genuine effort here by the government to respond to the reality that we face as a people. They speak to climate, that is the bill, to climate coordination, international reporting, and access to climate finance and carbon markets. In principle, Mr. Deputy, those are not wrong directions or objectives. But principle without structure is performance, and a structure without accountability puts us all at risk, and we are definitely at risk. So the issue before this House is not whether these bills sound good or intentions may be good. The issue is whether they will deliver results that Bahamians can feel.
Aram Lewis from the Coalition of Independents, the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, also supported the bill, but called for greater attention in making family islands resilient to the impacts of climate change as well. Before members began debate on the Climate Change and Environment Advisory Bill, the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, during a communication to the House, announced record numbers in tourism arrivals in 2025.
2025, the Bahamas welcomed an unprecedented 12.5 million visitors, the highest total arrivals ever recorded. Visitor arrivals grew 11.4% year over year, surpassing 2024's record and exceeding our pre-pandemic 2019 levels by more than 72%. I am pleased to note that this now signals record-level performances for the third consecutive year.
Mr. Cooper also hit out at those in the official opposition who have been critical of previous record tourism numbers, claiming that the impacts not being felt by residents.
While some might seek to downplay the impact of these arrivals, Madam Speaker, they represent jobs and salaries, shifts being filled, inventory purchased, tours booked, taxis running, restaurants busy, marinas active, straw vendors selling, small hotels and Airbnb hosts earning, and Bahamian families feeling the difference across our islands. New experiences, new businesses, new jobs, new income, and new opportunities for Bahamians.
Mr. Cooper also announced a steady performance in air arrivals, including an increase in arrivals from Canada that now make up 7% of all air arrivals, a 25% increase over 2024. The tourism minister invited the official opposition to have a briefing with the technical officers in his ministry, the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. However, later in that session, F&M leader Michael Pintard reiterated the opposition's position that the record tourism numbers are not being felt by a majority of Bahamians. Following the highly anticipated cabinet meeting in Grand Bahama on Tuesday, Prime Minister Philip Davis, flanked by his cabinet ministers, held a press conference where he announced possible major changes for the Grand Bahama Electricity Company in the form of a memorandum of understanding with Canada-based Emera Inc., which could see the government take control of the Grand Bahama Power Company.
I want to begin by announcing the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the government of the Bahamas and Emera Incorporated relative to the Grand Bahama Power Company. This MOU reflects a shared commitment to explore a new path forward for energy in Grand Bahama. When completed, this would mark the first time the government of the Bahamas has control over the power company since the Hawksbill Creek Agreement was signed. This is important because it will result in universal electricity rates across the Bahamas, ending a long-standing disparity between Grand Bahama and the rest of our country. It matters because it strengthens national energy planning, and it matters because it directly supports our broader energy reform agenda aimed at bringing down the cost of electricity for Bahamian households and businesses.
In a letter to the staff at Emera that learned about the possible transaction through the Prime Minister's press conference Tuesday, CEO Dave McGregor said while discussions are active and have been productive, there is no final agreement at this time. However, there is a possibility that the Grand Bahama Power Company could be purchased by the government. Today in the House of Assembly, F&M leader Michael Pintard said this news does not excite Grand Bahama residents because the Davis administration has a poor track record when it comes to the energy sector, says Mr. Pintard. And finally, in this segment, while in Grand Bahama, Prime Minister Philip Davis also made an announcement about the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport, which is a critical key to the completion of the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort and other potential tourism-based investments on the island of Grand Bahama.
The government has mobilized Polycon, the construction company carrying out works for the Grand Bahama International Airport, and Polycon has engaged Bahamas Hot Mix to commence on-site preparation works. This marks an important transition from planning into physical activity on the ground, and it reflects our commitment to moving this project forward in a responsible and orderly way. The work is ongoing as I speak. This progress comes at a moment when Grand Bahama's tourism performance is demonstrating real momentum.
According to the Prime Minister, Phase 1 of the Grand Bahama Airport has a capital expenditure of over $100 million and will deliver a new modern terminal designed to accommodate demand up to 1 million passengers annually. The facility will include an international and United States pre-clearance, new taxiways, expanded apron space, and upgraded roadways and parking. The Prime Minister also made another major announcement for the development of a new seaport in Freeport.
Yesterday, we signed and advanced another major step in the relaunch of Grand Bahama's economy through MSC's major cruise terminal investment in Freeport Harbor. This is a serious expansion with real scale. MSC Cruises, through its affiliate and development company, will develop a new cruise ship pier, complex, and berthing area at Billy Key property in the city of Freeport, alongside new visitor and commercial infrastructure. The plan also includes upgrades to the existing port and retail village area of the Freeport Harbor. The estimated capital investment is $450 million, with $400 million allocated to the Billy Key Port and related infrastructure, and $50 million allocated to a beach club and the refurbishment of the existing retail village refurbishment.
The government is expecting these investments, along with others, to further jumpstart the Grand Bahama economy. As for the Grand Lucayan, Prime Minister Davis says the government is making steady progress on finalizing the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort, whose investors believe a fully functioning international airport is critical to their success. You're watching JCN TV News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.